Hey, everything on 3. Number 3. Wait on 1. Oh. Wait on 3. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Hey, next up. Eyes on 3. Everything on 3. 1. Everything.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast. Time for a victory lap.
Feels so good!
I had to do it because I made that trade and it worked out for me this week. And I'm excited because it's going to work out for me next week because he's playing the Falcons next week.
Oof.
So I think I'm going to get a couple of big booming games from...
Feels so good!
So I want to take that victory lap just on that trade for you for now. But
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
okay.
over. It's 1 week, obviously.
It
I'll
happens.
probably have one more week
Here's the thing.
of dominance. One more week of dominance, and then he's going to be... Then I feel... After this upcoming week, I'm going to be looking at my lineup every week like, am I going to go with Justin Fields or Aaron Rodgers again? Like, I'm just going to be in the same position. But these 2 weeks will be good.
My victory lap goes out to JT, baby. I'm back! Had a great game. Finally. This is the Jonathan Taylor that we all know and love.
It's a good thing they played the Raiders.
They did play the Raiders.
The Raiders that let Matt Ryan rush for 40 fucking yards
Oh,
on a
my
touchdown.
God. How could you bring that up? How could
But
I had to.
he ran the
I
ball
don't think he got the
22
touchdown.
times for 147 yards and 1 touchdown.
Are you sure?
I don't think you got the touchdown on the play. Here,
Oh.
this is what I was going to ask. 22 yards, 100
rushing
and...
touchdown.
Okay. What's
I was
more...
going to say, I thought I
I'm
seen
literally looking at the stats.
I thought he had a rushing touchdown.
No, you were saying... I thought you... No, you were saying... Matt Ryan.
Oh, yeah, Matt Ryan.
Ryan
Oh, yeah,
didn't have a rush.
Oh, okay.
He had a 40-yard rush.
Yeah. No, I was talking about
Well,
JT.
here's the thing with
Definitely
JT. What's more impressive? Just in general, I want to know. 22 yards or whatever. What was it? 22 times
20 times 147.
Okay, great. And one of those rushes were like 70 yards, okay? What's more impressive? Same thing with Dalvin Cook. Just in general, what do you think's a better running back? Somebody, a stat that does that or something like Josh Jacobs does, where he had like probably 25 carries for 140 yards. Like just...
I mean, 22 and 25 is not that far off.
No.
But the...
Anywhere 20 carries and beyond is fantastic.
But the continual, what that shows to me, I'm saying is like, I just feel like maybe that shows that Josh Jacobs in general, that kind of performance is the better running back without the big play. Because if say Dalvin Cook, if somebody's in that hole on that 80-yard rush, right?
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook has maybe 20 attempts for 50 yards.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? So
Josh
like, there's
Jacobs
a difference. What was
had
Josh Jacobs?
21 for 78 and a touchdown, but he had 6 receptions for 28 yards.
So, but I'm talking about like I'm thinking mid-season Josh Jacobs when he was doing all those big games with not
Well, let's see.
with not a big rush. Like what? Just in general, like what do you think? Not even fantasy in general, because points are points, yes. But what do you think makes for the better running back? I think it's the more sustainable stuff because there's no way I think Dalvin Cook had a good game, except that big run. If you take that 81 yards away, he had 50 yards.
But it
You know
still
what
happened.
I mean?
Yeah.
So
You always make the point about taking away that one big play, but it doesn't matter. It still happened. It's still part of the stats. We're talking fantasy football. That's points.
but we're talking. I'm asking in just normal if the player's good because you can't
of
live.
course, I
off
want an 80-yard run every time.
But are you going to get it every time?
no, but if I get
Those are the players.
If I get 170 yards on, or we'll dumb it down because that's between the two. What I say Taylor ran for 147 on 22 attempts, 147 yards. I don't care. Take away 70 yards, fine, whatever.
So he's still at like 80. And that's fine. But that's the thing. That's the position I'm getting at because there's, say, receivers like Gabe Davis,
Sure,
who will have a huge play, and then the weeks he doesn't, he's dog shit. Is Jonathan Taylor that guy? Because it seems to be so far this year. If he didn't have a big play, he's dog shit so far this year. I'm not making that up.
Well,
He's
that
been
goes
dog
with
shit all
anybody,
year,
though.
so.
He's been dog shit all year except his 2 games with big play, but it doesn't go.
Justin
with
Jefferson makes that catch on Cam Lewis.
Yeah, but that was only
if he
25
doesn't make
yards.
he doesn't make that. Okay, 25 yards.
Yeah, it's not a big play. Justin Jefferson is consistently good. Every game, it
You're right
doesn't
about
matter.
that.
And that's what I'm saying. So somebody
Basically, I think what you're getting down to is you basically want the consistent the more consistent player.
But somebody like
But it's-
Derrick Henry. Like, Derrick
but
Henry doesn't
it's-
always have great games.
like-
but
You're going to want the running back that goes, 20 rushes for 100 plus yards and 1 touchdown over a guy that's 1 week's going to have 150 and 2 touchdowns, or it's going to be like 50 yards.
I think
and
you need a mixture
whatever.
of both. Yeah, I think
Yeah, you do
I'm
on
trying
your
to think
team,
of
but-
I'm trying to put where going into this season, everybody was putting Jonathan Taylor like he's the next Derrick Henry, right? Consistent, going to be great, but I don't know if he's that player. He seems to be more or less the big play that he needs the big play to be good guy. Maybe it's just
It's hard to tell because
You know?
the Colts are dog shit. So
because certainly that's DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift needs the big play
yeah,
to be good, obviously. And DeAndre Swift was never in the position to be the first overall pick or anything like that. But like,
No, I don't think so.
there's 2 types of running back, and I don't know who Jonathan Taylor is right now because last year we all felt he was like that really consistent guy, but this year it just seems like
He was
he's-
really consistent last year.
And this year
You don't-
seems like he's
you don't
good.
get you don't get 1,800 yards rushing by not being consistent.
Like, right, exactly. And this year's different, and I don't understand what.
Well,
it
the
is.
Colts are bad this year.
yeah.
They beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, barely.
I mean, they have 4 wins right now.
Yeah, barely.
The Bills have 6.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, listen, I'm not. Obviously, he had a great game.
Yeah.
And it was good to see.
I'm not trying to argue a pick of him. I'm sorry. I just wanted to like talk about that. Like, I don't know who he is. Who is he? Who do you think he is?
I mean, if they're going to give him 20 carries, yeah, I would. If any running back in the league gets 20 carries, you expect them to be over 100 yards.
Yeah.
But not everybody runs for 5 yards a carry. So that's a lot. 5 yards a carry? That's a lot. Right?
It is a lot. All right, up it. 25 attempts. You should be able to get 100 yards. That's
Yeah.
what
4 yards.
4
a carry.
yards a carry. That's more realistic.
And it's,
probably.
and it's tough. It's tough. Like, not a lot of running backs get that anymore.
I mean, James Cook was on his way.
Jonathan,
5 for 22,
And it-
4.2 yards.
and it's nice to see Jonathan Taylor back and doing that. I'm just afraid Jay might be right that it had something to do with it being the Raiders.
You're not wrong. I mean,
Like-
the Raiders are bad. I get it, but those are the games that you want to see your star players that you draft number 1 overall do well against.
Well, you know what?
And then trade him, and then Adam sabotaged me and fucking breaks.
And I-
And Zach Ertz.
I blew up
Because he was like, oh, Jonathan Taylor hasn't been working out for me. And then all of a sudden, Zach Ertz gets hurt. Jonathan Taylor blows up.
I hired the sniper. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't.
well, you know, Jim Irsay only has one thing to say to me about my take on Jonathan Taylor.
Your opinion really doesn't matter.
He's an upper quartile running back, okay?
Quartile.
Which and he is, and he's still
He's definitely a good
he's
runner.
still looked at as that way. Like
He is.
You have to because of what he did last year.
I just don't know who he is, and it's interesting.
To be
right?
fair,
this
like
is- but-
all of the top running backs this year have not lived up to.
Right.
I mean,
And Najee Harris being number 1.
yeah, Najee's, and then but Henry's been great.
Henry's been great
Eckler's
down
been
the
great.
stretch.
Christian's
down the
been great.
stretch. Eckler's good. Christian McCaffrey's been fine, except for last week. Well,
I
I
think
think he still had a pretty good game.
JT's
right?
disappointing.
He is.
Obviously, Najee's disappointing.
Yeah, big time.
And DeAndre Swift's disappointing.
Yeah, for sure. For where they were drafted in lineups and the rounds that they were taken in first, second round.
I mean, I was higher
They
on Swift.
definitely-
I took Swift at the first round, so
I mean,
end of the first round.
yeah, it's good to see him run like that. But like I said, those are the games. I would love my running backs to get 20 to 25 attempts.
Yeah.
What's
and
your
see what
victory
they can do
lap,
with
Jay?
it.
My victory lap is me and you.
Oh, is that?
Ooh,
Because we did our part. We beat the number 1 and number 3 team in our league, and someone dropped the
I'm
ball
working
on the
on
other
it.
one.
I'm working on it. There's still a chance.
And I won with having a guy that got killed by Adam and another guy that didn't play.
Yeah, Jay put the old had the old 0 in his starting lineup, and he still
It's
won.
won.
It's Yahoo's fault.
And he still
Yahoo
won.
sucks, dude.
Yeah, I didn't get a notification.
Well, Jay is also on the Bills' home games at the stadium, and he's too busy
True.
getting crunk to look at his phone. So,
Right. That's why he texts you and says, "Can you put this guy in my
but he
lineup?"
didn't this
Not
week.
this week. Oh man,
no, because I didn't get the notification. But
Why
I
don't you-
was for other players.
But why don't you just
Oh, man.
check your lineup at just before you walk into the stadium?
Who was it?
Well, that was
Because I checked earlier in the day and it didn't
Well,
say
that's true
anything.
because that was a 4:00 game.
Yeah.
that was a 4:00 game.
Yeah.
Oh, Benjamin.
No,
So-
Jay started Zeke.
Yeah.
Oh, other side. Sorry. Oh, Zeke. Yeah.
That was a 4:00 game.
Yeah, and it
Oof.
didn't say shit about
But you still got the win.
Yeah. I mean, I got an update that Zach Ertz was out about 7 hours after his game. So I mean,
Yeah.
but nothing for Zeke
That's
before
when
the
all
game.
the notifications come through when you're leaving the stadium.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast.